Love is meant to lift you, to make your heart feel light, and to add meaning to your life. But sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Sometimes love comes wrapped in expectations, in trials, in challenges that test your patience and your self-worth. When love becomes a test, it asks you to sacrifice your peace, to compromise your values, and to bear burdens that are not yours alone to carry. It demands endurance when it should inspire joy. It asks for proof when it should offer trust. And in this, you realize love is no longer a gift. It has become a challenge, a struggle, a weight you were never meant to carry. The truth is, love should never make you question your worth. It should not drain your energy or make you feel small. When love feels like a constant test, it is not love in its truest form. True love supports, nurtures, and elevates. True love celebrates your being, encourages your growth, and offers safety for your heart. You deserve relationships where love is a gift, a source of warmth, comfort, and mutual respect. And sometimes the greatest act of love you can offer yourself is to step back from the ones that turn love into a test, to release what hurts, to protect your peace, and to allow love to enter your life in its purest form. Remember, love should feel like a heaven, not a battlefield. And when it doesn't, it's not a sign of failure. It's a signal to realign with what you truly deserve. Love is a gift, not a test. Never settle for anything less. Self-worth is the foundation of how we experience love, yet it is often the first thing to be tested when love becomes more of a challenge than a gift. When someone asks you to bend to constantly prove yourself or to diminish your own needs in the name of love, it chips away at the essence of who you are. Self-worth is not something you negotiate. It is the unwavering understanding that you deserve respect, care, and a love that uplifts rather than burdens you. When you feel compelled to justify your existence, defend your emotions, or compromise your values simply to maintain a relationship, that is a clear signal that your self-worth is under siege. Love that asks you to sacrifice your identity or constantly questions your value is no longer a reflection of genuine connection. It is a reflection of imbalance, of a dynamic that can erode the strongest hearts over time. Understanding your self-worth means recognizing that your needs, your feelings, and your boundaries matter as much as anyone else's. It means understanding that love is not about enduring pain to earn approval or validation. True love does not demand that you diminish yourself. It does not thrive on the uncertainty of your worth. When you accept your self-worth fully, you begin to see situations clearly without the cloud of insecurity or fear. You can discern whether a relationship nurtures your growth or whether it systematically tests your patience, endurance, and resilience. This awareness allows you to make choices that honor who you are, rather than clinging to connections that drain your energy and undermine your confidence. Self-worth is also the lens through which we evaluate the actions of those around us. When someone repeatedly dismisses your feelings, ignores your boundaries, or places unreasonable expectations on you, it is not a reflection of your inadequacy, it is a reflection of their inability to love in a healthy, balanced way. The more grounded you are in your self-worth, the less power these actions have over your peace of mind. You begin to realize that you are not responsible for anyone else's happiness at the cost of your own well-being. You understand that love is meant to be reciprocal, nurturing, and supportive, and anything that consistently erodes your sense of self is a warning sign, not a challenge you are meant to endure. Cultivating self-worth requires courage, because it often means confronting uncomfortable truths about your relationships. It means asking yourself whether you are staying out of fear, obligation, or hope that things will change, rather than out of genuine mutual respect and care. It requires you to detach from patterns that have conditioned you, to accept less than you deserve, and to embrace the reality that true love should feel effortless in its essence, even if it requires effort to maintain. This does not mean love is without conflict or compromise, but it does mean that your value is never up for negotiation. When self-worth becomes your compass, it transforms your experience of love. You begin to recognize that love is not about enduring endless tests or performing to prove your value. Instead, it is about being seen, appreciated, and respected for exactly who you are. It is about experiencing connection that nourishes rather than depletes. And the moment you anchor yourself in self-worth, you give yourself permission to step away from relationships that turn love into a challenge, and to welcome the kind of love that truly honors your heart. Emotional boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your heart, your mind, and your inner peace. When love becomes a test, these boundaries are often the first to be crossed. You begin tolerating behaviors you never thought you would, excusing words that wound you, and accepting patterns that slowly drain your spirit. Love should never require you to abandon your emotional safety to prove your devotion. Healthy love respects space, individuality, and the need for personal limits. When boundaries are weak or unclear, relationships easily slip into imbalance. One person's needs overshadow the others, and affection becomes conditional. You may find yourself saying yes when you mean no, keeping quiet to avoid conflict, or giving more than you have the capacity to give. This is not love in its purest form. This is endurance disguised as affection. Love is not supposed to strip you of your voice. It is meant to strengthen it. Honoring your emotional boundaries means understanding where you end and where someone else begins. It means protecting your inner world from constant criticism, manipulation, or pressure to conform. When you communicate your boundaries clearly, you are not being selfish. You are protecting the space in which love can truly grow. True connection flourishes when both people respect each other's emotional needs. When love becomes a test, boundaries remind you that you are not required to solve someone else's pain at the expense of your own. They remind you that your feelings are valid, that your heart deserves gentleness, and that real love will never punish you for protecting your well-being. True love is often misunderstood. Many believe it is about sacrifice, compromise, or enduring hardship endlessly, but true love is far simpler and far more profound than that. It is not meant to test your limits or make you question your worth. True love nurtures the heart, it inspires growth, and it creates a space where both people can flourish without fear, manipulation, or pressure. When love turns into a test, it moves away from its essence, and we often fail to recognize that what we are experiencing is not genuine love at all. It is a reflection of imbalance, expectation, or insecurity. In its purest form, true love is unconditional, not in the sense that anything is tolerated, but in the sense that it is generous, patient, and understanding. It does not demand proof of worthiness through suffering. It does not thrive on jealousy, control, or manipulation. True love sees your flaws and your imperfections, and instead of using them as leverage, it embraces them as part of who you are. It celebrates your victories, comforts you in your losses, and stands beside you without diminishing your identity. When love feels like a constant test, it is often a sign that one or both people are trying to extract validation or control, rather than offering genuine care and support. True love also respects individuality. It allows each person to grow, explore, and pursue their own journey without guilt or pressure. It understands that partnership is not about ownership or dependency, but about companionship and mutual respect. When someone truly loves you, they do not see your independence as a threat. They see it as a strength that complements their own life. They do not demand that you bend to their expectations or tolerate behavior that diminishes your spirit. True love inspires confidence, not fear, connection, not confinement, joy, not anxiety. Moreover, true love is consistent. It does not appear only when convenient or when the other person meets certain conditions. It is steady, dependable, and patient. Even in moments of challenge, it communicates openly, listens deeply, and resolves conflict with empathy rather than dominance. When love constantly tests you, it replaces these qualities with tension, doubt, and exhaustion. This is why recognizing true love is essential, not to cling to idealized notions, but to protect your heart from patterns that wear it down. Ultimately, true love is transformative. It does not demand that you lose yourself to prove your loyalty. It does not measure devotion by your suffering. It elevates, supports, and honors your being in a way that feels natural, uplifting, and sacred. The moment you anchor your understanding of love in this truth, you begin to see through relationships that disguise struggle as intimacy. You realize that love should be a gift, not a test, and that genuine connection will always leave space for peace, joy, and mutual respect. True love is not about enduring trials to earn affection. It is about experiencing a bond so balanced, so nurturing, and so honest that it feels like coming home to your own heart. Personal growth is one of the most important indicators of whether love is truly a gift or a test. When love becomes a burden, it often halts growth, trapping you in patterns that limit your potential and obscure your sense of self. True love, on the other hand, encourages self-discovery, emotional maturity, and the development of qualities that strengthen both the individual and the relationship. Love should not confine you, it should expand your heart and your mind, challenging you to become the best version of yourself without compromising who you are. When a relationship consistently tests you, it can mask itself as a catalyst for growth, but in reality, it often pushes you into stress, doubt, or self-sacrifice that is not reciprocated. Personal growth in love is about learning, adapting, and evolving in ways that enhance your well-being and your understanding of connection. It involves recognizing patterns that no longer serve you, embracing accountability for your own choices, and developing resilience in the face of life's challenges. True growth in love also comes from reflection and self-awareness. It is understanding how your emotions, habits, and expectations affect your interactions, and learning to communicate and relate in healthier ways. It means not losing yourself to maintain harmony or trying to earn someone else's affection through compromise that undermines your values. Love should inspire clarity, courage, and emotional intelligence, not confusion, fear, or constant self-doubt. When love supports growth, it empowers you to set boundaries, express yourself authentically, and pursue your goals without guilt. It teaches you patience, empathy, and understanding while also reminding you that your progress matters just as much as the relationship itself. Love that nurtures growth feels liberating rather than exhausting, and it transforms challenges into opportunities to strengthen both the connection and your own personal journey. Toxic relationships are those in which love ceases to feel like love at all. Instead of being a source of comfort, connection, and support, they drain your energy, cloud your judgment, and weaken your spirit. They are marked by control, manipulation, criticism, or a constant need to prove yourself. When love feels like a never-ending exam, it often means the relationship has turned toxic, where affection is conditional, respect is absent, and peace is replaced by tension and fear. In a toxic dynamic, you may find yourself walking on eggshells, afraid to speak your truth or express your feelings. You start prioritizing someone else's moods over your own well-being, losing sight of who you are in the process. These relationships convince you that enduring pain is evidence of loyalty, that sacrificing your happiness is necessary to keep love alive. But this is not love. It is control dressed as devotion. Recognizing toxicity requires honesty and courage. It means seeing patterns clearly instead of excusing them, understanding that constant disrespect or emotional harm is never justified. Love should never cost you your self-respect or your sense of safety. In a healthy connection, disagreements are resolved with empathy, not intimidation. Support is freely given, not earned through suffering. By identifying toxic behaviors, such as manipulation, jealousy, excessive criticism, or emotional neglect, you take back your power. You realize that staying in an unhealthy relationship does not prove your strength. Leaving it does. Protecting yourself from toxicity is an act of self-love, because no heart can thrive in an environment that starves it of care, trust, and respect. Inner peace is the compass that guides you through love, especially when it feels like a test instead of a gift. It is the quiet certainty that your worth, your happiness, and your emotional well-being matter, regardless of external pressures or expectations. Without inner peace, love becomes chaotic, filled with anxiety, doubt, and constant questioning of your decisions. When you cultivate inner peace, you create a sanctuary within yourself, a place where your heart is safe, your mind is clear, and your emotions are balanced. Love that challenges inner peace is rarely love in its true form. It pushes you toward fear, guilt, or unrest, convincing you that enduring discomfort is proof of loyalty or devotion. But inner peace reminds you that your feelings are valid, that your boundaries matter, and that genuine love does not require self-sacrifice at the cost of your well-being. When your heart is anchored in calm, you can observe relationships objectively, recognizing patterns that nurture growth and those that cause harm. Achieving inner peace means letting go of control over others, releasing the need for constant validation, and choosing not to dwell on what you cannot change. It means trusting yourself to make decisions that honor your values, even if they are difficult. It allows you to approach love with clarity and confidence, rather than desperation or fear. Inner peace also transforms your experience of love. It enables you to enjoy connection without dependence, to give without losing yourself, and to communicate without compromise to your integrity. It helps you distinguish between love that lifts you up and love that burdens you, guiding you to relationships that are genuine, balanced, and supportive. When your heart is at peace, love becomes a gift once again, free from tests, stress, and doubt, and you can truly experience its beauty and depth. Love is meant to be a gift, not a test. When it challenges your self-worth, crosses your emotional boundaries, distorts the meaning of true love, hinders personal growth, traps you in toxic patterns, or disrupts your inner peace, it is no longer serving its highest purpose. Each of these signs is a reminder to pause, reflect, and realign with what you truly deserve. You deserve love that uplifts rather than drains, that celebrates your individuality, honors your boundaries, and encourages growth. You deserve connections that nurture your heart, not challenge it unnecessarily. Protecting your self-worth, maintaining emotional boundaries, seeking genuine love, fostering personal growth, avoiding toxicity, and cultivating inner peace are not acts of selfishness. They are acts of wisdom, courage, and self-respect. When you understand these truths, you reclaim the power to choose relationships that honor your essence. You learn to let go of what diminishes you and embrace what elevates you. You allow love to become the gift it was always meant to be, a source of joy, support, and harmony. Remember, the right kind of love never tests you to the point of exhaustion. It simply inspires you to be your best self while feeling fully seen, valued, and loved. Ultimately, love should feel like coming home to your own heart, a sanctuary of trust, respect, and genuine connection. When you prioritize these principles, you transform not only your relationships, but your entire experience of life, creating space for love that is pure, uplifting, and truly fulfilling.